Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the Railway and welcome back to another review. And there's been quite a southern theme recently, hasn't there? I've been looking at a lot of southern locos and I thought, well, why not carry on that theme today with a couple more Wrenn locos, and I'm super excited about this one. It's a real treat because this couple of locos I'm going to show you today is a couple that I really love, and it's a couple that I love to get out the box and get them running as often as I can, and I really hope you're going to enjoy it as well. It's these two. That one there and this one, and these are actually they're more Bullied Pacifics, if I can just hold them up here, and yeah, they're the West Country class this time. I think the last time I looked at some it was the Battle of Britain, so yeah, nice to have a change there. I'm going to get these two unboxed for you, and yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. Let's give it a go. Alright, so here's the boxes then, and inside are some absolutely gorgeous models. I really genuinely can't wait to show them to you. First, I'll apologise about this thumb. Now, it's been in the wars a bit as this thumb. First, about a week ago it got electrocuted, and then just as that was healing, this morning, first thing, I banged it and busted open. So yeah, apologies for the plaster, I hope it doesn't put you off too much. But yeah, let's get these unboxed then. I suppose I'll start with this one, because it's perhaps the least impressive. Not that it's unimpressive, but you know, I just think the other one's nicer. Quite an old looking box. On the end you can't really work out what it says. You've got the running number there, which starts with 223 looks like, 462. It probably says Pacific there, but you can't see it, and SR Barnstaple is what it says. And yeah, let's get this one out and show it to you. And there it is. What a fantastic loco. Rebuilt, as you can see, it hasn't got the air smooth casing or anything, and the running number is in fact 34005. So I'll get the tender out first. First thing to notice is the plastic wheels. Take note of those. That's quite characteristic probably of the early Wrenn model, but the later ones would have had metal, as we'll see in a moment. But it doesn't, you know, it doesn't make it run badly at all, so I've kept those plastic wheels. Let's get a look at the loco then, Barnstaple, and goodness gracious, I always forget how much these weigh. Again, plastic wheels, but what a beautiful thing, in absolutely very nearly mint condition, except for there was no orange stripes on the valve chest there, but my sister very kindly painted those back on for me. But yeah, Barnstaple, what a fantastic machine, and yeah, more on her later. Yeah, really smart. Bullied Pacific, West Country class. Okay, and I'll explain why she's in BR green a bit later on, but first let me get the second one unboxed, and here's the box right there. As you can see, slightly later box, and you can actually read what the end of the box says this time. W2237462 West Country Southern. So it doesn't actually give anything away this time in terms of its name. But yeah, let me get this one up. And sadly, neither of these have their, you know, the instructions with them. But that's, you know, not a big deal for me because I've got quite a lot of those anyway. But yeah, and here's the loco then. Oh, right, not the big reveal that I'd hoped. Anyway, here we go. And yeah, this one is number 21C109 Lyme Regis. And I just love this livery. You know, ironically, or perhaps not, it is in a very lime green colour, isn't it? But yeah, here we go then. Let's get the tender out. It's an identical tender, of course, except the livery. And it does have the metal wheels, as you can tell there. So yeah, very smart looking tender this. Again, mint condition. I was really pleased with this. And the loco itself, Lyme Regis, in the gorgeous sort of lime green colour. Yeah, what a wonderful thing. And also the wheels carry that colour as well, which is very interesting. But yeah, it's a stunning loco, and I really do love it. It's a stunning piece of work. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, it's a fantastic machine, and it weighs absolutely loads. It really does. So yeah, two lovely locos, and I'll get them both running, of course. I think this one, Lyme Regis, is the one I'm going to review up close on the white background. Only because it's my personal preference. But then of course I will get old Barnstaple up and running later on, along with another bullied loco of some sort. Yeah, well, there's not that many to choose from actually, but yeah, I'll think of something. And yeah, before I do that though, here's a little bit of info about the class. And they were introduced in 1945 by Oliver Bullied, of course. And the West Country and Battle of Britain classes were collectively known as Light Pacifics, and the two sort of classes, in inverted commas, were actually identical. It's just that the first batch was known as the West Country class, and the remaining 70 or so were known as the Battle of Britain. Together this made the class a total of about 110 strong, And during the 1950s, 60 of the class were actually rebuilt into the rebuilt version by British Railways, and the end product closely resembled the Merchant Navy class, which of course came before, and it featured no air smooth casing, Walschaerts valve gear and lower boiler pressures. The first to be rebuilt, quite interestingly, was Barnstaple, which is the one that I unboxed a minute ago. So that's quite a nice coincidence, quite interesting. I'm quite glad I've got that one now. And 10 of the class remain in preservation, but quite sadly the rest were scrapped. So there she is then, a very smart model up against the white background, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but this is of course the rebuilt version as it would have appeared in the BR period, even though of course it's got the southern tender, which must make it not quite correct. Although I suppose it's possible that this has been modelled on one at a Heritage Railway or something like that that has been you know, painted up to look like it might have done if it had have existed in the southern period. But yeah, there it is anyway. The first thing to talk about, I suppose, is the livery then, because it is very unusual in this lime colour. So lime by name, lime by nature, but it has got these yellow stripes which are quite consistent throughout the whole model, on the boiler of course, and on the valve chests, and on the side of the cab. As you can see there, the running number quite nicely printed there in that typical southern font, 21C109, with the yellow box around it there, if you like. Of course the windows aren't glazed, and they never really were from Wrenn, and there's nothing inside the cab to speak of because of course it's just the motor, although of course the motor does sometimes look a little bit like cab detail if it just catches the eye in the right way, but that's quite nice. The model does have a fair few separately fitted parts. Of course, standard issue, as always, the safety valves there, as you can see on the top there. And you've also got a nice separately fitted handrail there on the side of the boiler, and also on the smoke deflectors, which themselves, I believe, are separately fitted there. Let's have a quick look at the buffer beams, because as you can see there, it's got these lovely painted silver buffers, which helps to make them a little bit more realistic. And on the front there, just above the buffer beam, you've got the running number once again. The smoke box door is reasonably detailed. It's got, you know, the rivets, it's got the dart on the front there and the hinges and whatnot, but of course it doesn't have any painting on there, as you'd probably expect. The Lyme Regis is quite nicely painted onto there, as you can see, with a little crest above it. It does look a little bit cartoonish, you know, a little bit hand-drawn, but you know, I think that's part of the charm of the thing, really. The Walschaerts valve gear is reasonably sophisticated, as you can see there. Looks very nice, especially when it's running, as always. And that's just about it for the loco, I suppose. There's quite a lot of moulded detail, as you can see. Here and there there's various pipe work, and I think on the other side there's a reversing rod and whatnot. But yep, that's just about it for the loco. The tender is very similar, of course. It's in just about the same livery. The colour is very slightly different, but not noticeably so. The coal is quite realistic. It's not all that bad. It's quite finely scaled, I suppose, for a model of this age. And yeah, not bad at all. The undercarriage is reasonably detailed too. There's a fair bit of moulded detail there, as there is around the back, where there's also a ladder fitted as well, which is very nice. So overall, not a terribly detailed model, but Wrenn's never were. And don't forget, of course, that the whole body is made of cast metal, so it's more impressive, I suppose, that they've managed to get some moulded detail onto there. But yeah, that's just about it. A lovely loco, and I hope you really enjoy seeing her run. But of course, it's time for that now, so let's get her onto the track with some suitable rolling stock, alongside Barnstaple, of course. And yeah, let's see what you make of her when she performs. So there she is then, Lyme Regis, itching to go there on the line, and she will do in just a second. She's going to be pulling some freight. Now, if you're anything like me, you're going to be quite nervous at the sight of all this, because that's a lot of wagons. I don't know how many there are, there's got to be 20. And yeah, my layout isn't the smoothest, so yes, there's a good chance that we'll see some derailments, but I did want to show just what she's capable of pulling, so that's the crazy reasoning behind that. On the middle line, I've got Barnstaple, of course. She's been very patient, but now she's ready to go. Lovely loco there in the BR green. And she's got her southern coaches, 7 of those all hooked up, ready to go. And hopefully you'll enjoy seeing her run. And finally, on the very inner line, I've got Bulleid's other class of loco. Well, he did 3, didn't he? He did the Merchant Navy, he did these West Countries, and then, of course, the Q1. And there's my Q1, weathered version of course, very, very lovely thing. And she's got a bit more freight. She's got the Smith's Crisp Snacks and Nut Vans, as well as a bit of Weetabix at the back there. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing her. But for now, let's give old Lyme a little bit of testing. Let's see how she runs now. As always, I will point out that Wrenn locos aren't the best at slow speeds, but they do have a go. And she's going to have a go right now. So let's see how she gets on with this little slow speed test. Here she goes. As you can see, it is a little bit jerky, but the loco weighs an awful lot, and there's quite a lot of resistance here going on with all the, you know, the weight of it and the linkage and the big motor. Of course, the motors are very, very over-engineered. You know, they could power models twice the size without any problem. So, yeah, as you can see, not bad to be honest. She's on a point there as well, and she's not struggling. But really, it's the higher speeds that this loco is more comfortable with, and Barnstaple is just the same. So yeah, not bad as you can see. I'm going to reverse her up now and couple up to those wagons, and I'll show you just how much she can pull. It really is totally impressive. There she goes then. Let me just get her into shot, though I don't like reversing those wagons. But yeah, there we go then. She's just about ready to go, and I think I will do that. I think I'll set her to go forwards and bring her forwards. Look at that. Look at the power behind it. There we are. Decent speed. A lot of those have stones in them, so it really weighs a ton. So here goes Barnstaple as well then. Here we go with her Southern coaches, of course. Nice smooth start from her there, running number 34005. And last but not least, the Q1 then. Here she goes. Oh dear. I think one of the wagons has come off a bit. I'll just fix that on the way past. So here we go with the running session then. And I'm always impressed by the pulling power of these things. I mean, look at that. My 9F would struggle with that up some of my inclines, it really would. And the Barnstaple, of course, showing no weakness with all those Southern coaches. 7 of those, that's no mean feat, I suppose. Yep, very nice. And the Q1 is nowhere to be seen. Oh no. Nope, she's just come around the corner now. Yeah, fantastic loco that is. It used to be DCC chipped, but I managed to fry the chip, so I've taken it out. I don't know how I fried it. I was just servicing it and I hooked it up to a power supply and it went up in smoke and flames. But never mind, it actually runs better on DC, I think. So yes, not a problem. Very nice. And how many other West Country / Battle of Britain classes can you spot on the layouts? Because there's lots of them today. Can you count them all? That was cheesy, I know. Sorry. So brilliant models then, the Wrenn West Country class, but just how brilliant? Well, here's what I thought anyway, here's the ratings. Detail, 7 out of 10. The detail isn't massively extensive, but it's not bad for the era, and it's certainly not bad to say that it's cast metal, as always. Performance, 9 out of 10. They're beautiful, smooth runners, and they can pull absolutely no end, so really high marks there for performance. Character, 8 out of 10. It is a beautiful class of locomotive, and I really do like it, so 8 out of 10 there. Build quality, 10 out of 10, as always with Wrenn, you just can't fault them. You know, unless you drop them down the stairs, you are not going to damage them whatsoever. So, brilliant, brilliant build quality. Value, Barnstaple cost me, I think, 70. And as far as I know, Lyme Regis was a little bit more at about £90, I think. Really, that isn't too bad considering what you get. So 8 out of 10 there, which gives us overall, once again, 8 out of 10. Wonderful pair of models, I really do like them. And if you like Southern Locos and you don't mind Wrenn, I would definitely get yourself one because they're absolutely brilliant. They really, really are. I've just noticed there's been some violence on the railway. I never noticed she'd toppled over, so I need to sort that out at some point. But yeah, it wasn't me. Well, I bet it was, but I didn't mean to kill her. Yeah, fantastic locos, aren't they? I've really, really enjoyed doing this. I don't know, Southern doesn't seem to be all that popular, but personally I love it. I really, really do. There's a Q1, lovely as it is. And Barnstaple and Lyme Regis. Well, everybody, that's just about it for today. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one, I really have. And I hope you've enjoyed it as well, of course. I think the next review I do won't be a Southern Loco, so if you're somebody who isn't so keen on the Southern stuff, thank you very much for putting up with it for so long. I'll do something different next time. But yeah, that's just about it. As the Q1 just comes around there very slowly. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you did like it, please don't hesitate to leave a like or even a comment on the video because that is very helpful. And also, if you'd like to, you can check out the Facebook or Twitter pages, and they are at facebook.com/samstrains and twitter.com/samstrains. It would be really lovely to see you on there, but for now, once again, a very big thank you to you all for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers, everybody.